Hello guys, we are going to review the movie Ace Ventura in Nature Calls that came in 1995. Let's do its full movie review analysis and know about its talk about its fact. So again, let's start with introduction. Ace Ventura when nature calls is the hilarious and legendary sequel to the 1994 hit Ace Ventura, a Pet Detective. It's directed by Steve Odekok. This film continues the adventure of all eccentric and over-the-top Pet Detective. Ace Ventura played all Jim Carrey, known for its slapstick humor, absurd character, and memorable one-liners, the film has become a cult classic in comedy cinema. It was released in 1995. The movie capitalized on Jim Carrey's comedic genius and unpredictable antics, delivering a wild ride centered around jungle adventure, bizarre animal, and outlandish scenarios. While it received mixed reviews from critics, it achieved commercial success and remains beloved by fans for its over-the-top humor and iconic moments. And if we talk about plot summary and our first opening and setup, the film begins with Ace Ventura living a reclusive life after the event of the first film, avoiding the limelight and sounds associated with his pet detective career. However, he soon called back into action when he sacred artifact, the great Carmenial mass is stolen from a remote African tribe, the Wachati. If we talk about the mission, Ace is tasked with driving the stolen artifact and ensuring its safe return to the tribe to prevent a war between rival tribes and Wachati and Wachutu. His mission takes him deep into African jungles where he encounters bizarre animal eccentricities, the dangerous adversaries. And if we talk about jungle antics and humor, true to style, Ace's adventure is filled with slapstick comedy, absurd situation, and hilarious dialogue. He navigates through dangerous terrain, communicates with animals, and gets into ridiculous fight all while trying to recover the artifact and prevent chaos. And if we talk about climax and resolution after a series of comical misadventures, Ace manages to recover the artifact, confronts the antagonist, and restores peace between the tribes. The film ends with Ace returning to his reclusive life, albeit briefly hinting that his wild escape will continue. And if we talk about themes and style, First, talk about comedy and absurdity. The film's core appeal lies in its over the top humor, slapstick comedy, and Jim Carrey's improvisational style. The humor is often ridiculous, revolving around animal antics, visual gags, and exaggerated characters. And if we talk about cultural and jungle adventure, while primarily and comedy, the film also features jungle adventure tropes, tribal rituals, exotic animals, and remote landscape, adding an adventurous flavor to the comedic chows. If we talk about character and performance, Jim Carrey's portrayal of Ace Ventura is iconic. Part clown, part detective, part wild animal. His physical comedy, facial expression, and improvisation drive the film's energy. If we talk about character highlights and analysis, Ace Ventura's personality eccentric, flamboyant, unpredictable, and relentless in his pursuit of justice and humor. And if we talk about development, Ace Ventura, the character remains largely the same as in the first film, an outlandish oddball with a heart of gold underneath the jaws. And we talk about iconic traits, wild hair, exaggerated facial expression, and signature catchphrases. If we talk about Melissa Robinson, Courtney Cox, role as his love interest and assistant. Significance provides a balance to Ace's eccentricity and act as a foil to his antics. And if we talk about the villains, the watcher to drive and the antagonist typically portrayed as comically villainous, adding to the film's humorous tone rather than serious threat. And if we talk about the animals, the film features a variety of bizarre and exotic elephants, snakes, and monkeys, often used for comedic effect. And if we talk about cinematic technique and style, physical comedy, Jim Carrey's signature over-the-top expression and pratfalls. And if we talk about visual color, use of absurd props, animal costumes, and slapstick setups. And if we talk about sound and music, comedic timing enhanced by quirky sound effect and playful music cues, and editing, fast-paced editing that complements the chaotic humor. We talk about reception and critical response, first box office and popularity. The film was commercially a success, grossing over 212 million worldwide against a budget of about 23 million. Its humor and Carrey's performances made it a favorite among fans of slapstick comedy. And if we talk about critical reception, critics generally gave mixed reviews, criticizing it for its crude humor and lack of depth, but praising Jim Carrey's comedic performance. Rotten Tomatoes score Howard around 25 to 30%, indicating mixed review, but audience loved its outrageousness. And if we talk about cultural impact, the film strengthened Jim Carrey's status as a comedy icon and produced several memorable quotes and scenes that are still referenced today. And if we talk about interesting facts and behind the scene, Jim Carrey's Carrey improvisational style was instruments in shaping many of Ace's most iconic moments, including his facial expression and physical gags. And if we talk about filming location, the jungle scenes were shot in South Africa with some scenes in the United States. And if we talk about animal counters, several animals in the film were trained professional through some scenes involve digital effects or clever editing to enhance the absurdity. And if we talk about costume and makeup, Ace's flamboyant outfits and wild hair become iconic with costume designed to emphasize his eccentric personality. And if we talk about sequel and franchising, and if we talk about legacy and influence as Ventura in nature, Falls remains a defining example of 1990s slapstick comedy. It contributed to Jim Carrey's reputation as a comedic genius and inspired countless parodies, memes, and references in pop culture. While critics often dismissed it for its crude humor, fans appreciated its unpredictability, absurdity, and carries unparalleled comedic energy. And if we talk about final thought, Sanjira When Nature Calls is a wild, unpredictable comedy that exemplifies Jim Carrey's chaotic comedic style. It's a film that doesn't take itself seriously, embarrassing absurdity, slapstick, and over the top humor, and in doing so, it created a lasting legacy in comedy cinema. Whether you are a fan of physical comedy, animal antics, or just looking for good laugh, this film offers a chaotic jungle of humor that's both ridiculous and iconic. And if we talk about more, let's talk. It will take little more time, so you have to wait. Sorry for. If we talk about introduction, an iconic sequel in the realm of comedy is Ventura with Nature Calls is more than just a slapstick sequel. It is a quintessential piece of 1990s comedic cinema that showcased Jim Carrey at his most unrestrained and inventive, released on November 10, 1995 by Warner Bros. It capitalized on the enormous success of the original Ace Ventura Detective 1994, which had captured Carey into superstardom. The film's humor is characterized by its absurdity, physical comedy, and Carey's improvisational genius. While it received mixed critics' reviews, it was a box office hit, grossing over 212 million worldwide and has since become a cult classic. Its influence persists through countless memes, quotes, and references in pop culture. The film is the usual adventure that takes viewers deep into African jungle, where the eccentric detective Ace Ventura is tasked with retrieving a sacred artifact and a area filled with bizarre animals, slapstick gags, and over-the-top characters. Its tone is deliberately ridiculous, embracing chaos and absurdity, making it a landmark example of comedy access. And if we talk about extended plot summary and narrative development, if we talk about setting the scene, the world of Ace Ventura, the film opens with a humorous voice-over nature setting the tone. Ace Ventura has retired from his bad detective career and is living a scheduled, eccentric life. The camera showcases his bizarre home filled with animal memorable and decoration and a sense of chaos that reflects his personality. The opening establishes that S is an outsider, a wild card with a heart of gold, and unorthodox hero who thrives on charm but ultimately seeks justice and rightness in his own visceral, inflicting incident, the sacred artifact thief. The story kicks into high gear when the sacred create ceremonial mask from the Vasasi tribe is stolen. The tribes are on the brink of war if the mask is returned. Chaos will erupt and threaten to destroy their peaceful existence. The theft is orchestrated by an unnamed villain, executed antagonist working in cahoots with outside force, adding a layer of perceived villainy that matches the film's tone. The call to action and journey into the jungle. King Solomon the tribal chief enlists the help of ancient hero who is eloquently pulled back into action. His mission to try restore their masterpiece to place and avoid tribal conflict. And if we talk about the call out to action and the journey into the jungle, King Solomon the tribal chief enlisted the help of Ace Ventura, who is delicately pulled back into action. His mission to track the stolen mark, restore peace and avoid tribal conflict. Ace's journey takes him into the heart of the African jungle, a vibrant, setting with wildlife, colorful locals, and absurd obstacles. His interaction with animals and tribes people are filled with slapstick humor, cultural stereotypes, and hot laughs in the context of the film. Exaggerated style and hilarious scares. Talk about the jungle antics and encounters throughout his adventure. Ace encounters bizarre animals such as elephants, snakes, crocodiles, and monkeys, each scene featuring outrageous slapstick moments. For example, Tadawada Ace disguising himself in a rhino costume to sneak past enemies, leading to a hilarious scene where he is mistaken for a real animal. He communicates with animals in a comically exaggerated manner, often improvising silly noises or gestures. The film employs visual gags like animals hearing human thoughts, comedic animal behaviors, and absurd situations like Ace riding on an elephant or being chased by a tribe. We talk about the climax and resolution. Talk about the jungle antics. We talk about the climax and resolution. The climax guess the climax features a shouty comedy showdown deep in the jungle. Ace battles the villain in a series of slapstick sequences involving animals, booby traps, and clever disguise. In a hilarious twist, Ace manages to recover the mask, thwart the villain, and restore peace between the tribes. The film ends with Ace returning to his reclusive life, but not before delivering more of his signature catchphrases and antics. Trigger themes and style and artistic elementary and overcrowded alternatives as artistic sizes. The humor is deliberately over the top, embracing slapstick visual gags and carries improvisation that contributes in its ridiculousness, whether it's wild facial expression, exaggerated physical movement, or absurdity scenario. Whatever cultural and jungle adventure tropes. The film parodies and plays with adventure places, travel ritual, jungle survival, eccentric locals, and exotic animals. It also satirizes Western perception of Africa and tribal life, often exaggerated for comedic effect. If we talk about character dynamics and performance, Jim Carrey's performance is the centerpiece. His wide facial expression, physical comedy, and improvisation elevates the film from mere slapstick to a comedic to the his portrait of Ace Ventura is flamboyant, unpredictable, and endless invention. The supporting character, including the tribals, people, and villains, are caricatured to high in the comedic effect. Courtney Cox role as Melissa Robinson is reduced compared to the first film, but provide a grounding presence. If you talk about character deep dive and analysis, Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey, we talk about personality, unpredictable, eccentric, flamboyant, and often childlike in his antics, development the character remains largely the same, an absurd but good-hearted detective who loves milk and serves Peter got iconic traits, outlandish costume, wild hair, exaggerated facial expression, and eccentric speech patterns. Peter got style carries improvisation and physicality, make every scene unpredictable. Often breaking the fourth wall or improvising new joke on the spot. Jagger, Melissa Robinson, Courtney Cox, we talk about role, SS love, interest, and essential while significance act as voice of reason amidst S's songs, but her screen time is limited. If we talk about significance act and the character arc, she remains the pragmatic counterpart to S's madness, while providing comedic contrast. If we talk about the villain and antagonist, the villain often portrayed as a bumbling, cowardly, theatrical villain, a parody of typical adventure film antagonist. Their exaggerated evil scheme and slapstick confrontation contributed to the film's comedic tone. If we talk about animal and tribal characters, animals are portrayed with humorous behaviors, often anthropomorphized. If we talk about tribal characters depicted with exaggerated stereotypes intended as satire but sometimes viewed as cultural insensitive in modern critics. If we talk about genetic and technically aspect, if we talk about vision, comedy, and especially effects, the film employs practical effect with costume makeup and training enhanced with digital effect where necessary. Jim Carrey's facial expression and physical gags are captured through dynamic camera work and editing to avoid costume failure. The costumes are colorful and exaggerated, emphasizing the comedic tone. The rebel sets are less vibrant and present to evoke a sense of wild adventure. If we talk about sound and music, the score features lively, playful music that heightens comedic moments. Sound effect, animal noise, comedic vines, and aggregated sound add to slapstick aesthetic. And if we talk about direction and editing, Steve Ortega's direction emphasizes fast-paced editing, comedic timing, and improvisation to maximize talk about historical and cultural context. To talk about 1990s comedy trends, the film exemplifies the 1990s era of slapstick visibility, skill comedy, and exaggerated Carrey, curling films like Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura's first installment. Talk about cultural sensitivity and criticism. Modern news critics some stereotypical portrayal of tribes and animals which reflect the era's less sensitive approach to cultural representation. If we talk about Jim Carrey's career impact, the film reinforced Carrey's status as a comedy superstar, showcasing his improvisational talent, physical comedy, and aggressive presence. And if we talk about box office and cultural impact, and if we talk about box office and cultural impact, the film just overtook 212 million worldwide, making it one of the highest grossing comedies of 1995. It has a lasting legacy with iconic words like variety and scenes like the rhino costume chase. Its humor exaggerated characters and Carrey's performance influenced many comedians and filmmakers. And if we talk about behind the scene and trailer, Jim Carrey's improvisation in many scenes, especially those involving physical comedy and facial expression, were improvised on set. We talk about filming locations shot mainly in South Africa, with some scenes shot in the United States. We talk about animal training. Many animals appeared in scenes trained by professional handlers. Some scenes involve digital effect and costume design assets. Prime white outfits were designed to emphasize his eccentric personality. Memorable scenes, the rhino discuss the elephant ride, and the tribal dance scenes are fan favorite. If we talk about sequel and franchise, despite mixed critical reviews, the film's ability led to continue adventure with Ace Ventura. If we talk about memorable scene and quotable moments, alrighty then, the catchphrase that becomes synonymous with Jim Carrey's comedy. Persona, the rhino costume scene, Ace discovers himself in rhinoceros suit, resulting in slapstick chow. The jungle chase sequence, a fast-paced animal field chase scene full of visual gags. The final fight, a humorous confrontation with exaggerated physical comedy, and if we talk about legacy and cultural significance, Ace Ventura when nature calls remains defined of 1990s comedy, exemplifying simplifying Jim Carrey's wild improvisation style. It's celebrated for its outrageous humor, memorable quotes, and over-the-top characters. Its influence persists in internet memes, comedy, and pop cultural reference. Though sometimes critics for its sensitivity, its undeniable concept of slapstick, physical comedy. If we talk about conclusion, what comedic classic Ace Ventura will witness a car on exuberant Celtic ride filled with blood humor, memorable character and Jim Carrey's unmatched comedic energy. It exemplifies the era's love for outrageous comedy and remains a beloved art classic. Whether you are a fan of slapstick animal antics or just want a good laugh, this film invites you into a ridiculous jungle of humor that's both over the top and endlessly entertaining. And if you talk about more, and if you talk about Ace Ventura, Signature Call 1985, the ultimate in-depth extended reviews and facts compilation. We talk about introduction, iconic sequel that embodies 1913 comedy. Essential Venture Calls stands as a quintessential example of 1990 slapstick comedy and over-the-top hardware adventure. Their showcase Jim Carrey's unparalleled comedic talent. Released on November 10, 2005. What was it was the eagerly anticipated follow-up to this mass hit Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. While critics were divided, audiences flocked to theaters, making it a massive box office success and cementing its place in pop culture history. In the sequel, Carrey's Jenny character Ansel Ventura takes on a violent adventure filled with bizarre animals, eccentric drives, people, and slapstick sounds. The film's humor is deliberately exaggerated, often pushing the boundaries of text and reality, making it a potential example of 70s absurd comedy. Its influence persists in memes, quiet and parody films to this day. Talk about extended plot breakdown, a deep dive into the narrative. Let's talk about the opening sequence and stabilizing the tone. The film begins with a humorous voice or narration that introduces Ventura's new reclusive lifestyle after the events of the first film. His home is depicted as a chaotic zoo of animals, bizarre decoration and eccentric objects. An early addiction of his larger than life personality. This opening scene stabilizes that Ace is still the eccentric, unpredictable character fans love, but now he is in hiding basically with fame. The inciting incident, the theft of the sacred mask. The story is catalyzed in the theft of the great ceremonial mask from the Vasudita, a sacred relic that symbolizes peace and unity among the tribes. Its theft threatens to ignite a tribal war, which has serious consequences for the reason. The theft is portrayed in a humorous, exaggerated manner with over-the-top villains and ridiculous plot devices. The call to action and mission. King Solomon, the wise and humorous tribal leader, employs Ace to retrace the mask and prevent war liquidity Ace except mainly motivated by his love of chaos and adventure, but also because he's the only one eccentric enough to handle it. Into the jungle, the adventure begins. Ace's journey into the African jungle begins. The setting is a lush, vibrant, and exaggerated version of jungle life. Bright colors, wild animals, and eccentric locals. Asian countries, a series of bizarre challenges and characters including we talk about tra- uh, trash people who speak in exaggerated images of public ridiculous animal interactions such as riding elephants, communicating with parrots, and outrunning crocodiles. A series of slapstick gags involving jungle traps, animal antics, and extra improvisational humor, encounters, and antics in the jungle. The film is packed with furniture pieces such as the Granodiscus is a massive rhinoceros costume to sneak into the villain's hideout, leading to absurd moments of him being mistaken for a real animal mischief. Chimpanzees stealing obstacle, elephants trumpeting loudly, and snakes slithering unpredictable and to the sound. Talk about humorous cultural paradise. Tribal dance, ritual, and custom are exaggerated and played for laughs with is often disrupting or parodying them. Talk about the climax and resolution after a series of chaotic incidents. Ace confronts the villain who attempts to thwart his plans with over-the-top cartoonish themes. The climax features an elaborate chase involving animals, threats, and Ace's improvisation. A humorous showdown where outmaster the villain with slapstick tactics, the recovery of Rama, which is to peace between the tribe. The film concludes with this returning the relic earning methods, gratitude, and resuming his vehicle lifestyle until the next wild adventure. Our themes, style, and artistic choices, embracing absurdity and exaggeration. The film's core aesthetic is rooted in absurdity. Every scene is designed to push boundaries, visual gags, physical comedy, and exaggerated character gives a universe where Chawan's reigns supreme carries improvisational style fuels much of this, making each scene unpredictable and explosive with humor. Trevor themes, style, and artistic choice. Embracing absurdity and exaggeration. The film's core aesthetic is rooted in absurdity. Every scene is designed to push boundaries, visual gags, physical comedy, and exaggerated characters create a universe where Saul reigns supreme. Carrey's improvisational style fuels much of this, making each scene unpredictable and explosive. With humor, it was a time of adventure and cultural tropes. While it parodies adventure films, tribal stereotypes, and exotic wildlife documentaries, it's important to recognize that some depictions are exaggerated for comedic effect and reflects the era's less sensitive approach to cultural representation. Unpredictable character and performance and artistic expression. It about character and performance as artistic expression. Jim Carrey's portrayal of Ventura is the centerpiece. His physically facial expression and improvisation elevates the film beyond mere slapstick is over the top mannerism of inflection and unpredictable antics make as an enduring comedy icon. Spectacular visual and sound design. The film employs vibrant set design, colorful costumes, lively musical scores to heighten the comedic and adventurous atmosphere. Sound effects, animal noises, exaggerated moving, and comedic timing cues are crucial in enhancing the slapstick humor. If we talk about characters, analysis, and deep dive, we talk about Melissa Robinson, Courtney Cox, role as pragmatic love interest, character traits, calm, rational, and occasionally aspirates biases and significance act as a foil, highlighting Ace's eccentricity while providing moments of grounded humor. The villain and antagonist we talk about tribal and evolution character. Animals portrayal with humorous behavior, often anthropomorphized for comic effect. Tribal character exaggerated stereotype playful laughs, reflecting 1990s comedy sensibility, tough viewed critically today's. And we talk about cinematic and technical aspect, visual comedy and special effect, practical effect, costume and animatronics and animal training are combined with visual effect to create the exaggerated jungle environments and animal antics. Carrey's facial expression are captured through dynamic camera work, emphasizing his improvisation genius. If we talk about costume and set design, bright, flamboyant costume for Ace reflects his personality. The jungle sets are less exaggerated and colorful, immersing vibrant, chaotic world. If you talk about sound and music, the soundtrack features lively, playful music that amplifies comedic moments, sound animal noises, voice, and exaggerated sound cues are integral to slapstick timing. And if we talk about direction and editing, Steve Woodiger's direction emphasizes rapid pacing and comedic timing, often employing quick cuts and visual gags to maximize humor. The editing keeps scenes tight and energetic. If we talk about historical and cultural contents, talk about 1990s Indian pop culture, the film exemplifies the 1990s love for physical comedy, slapstick humor, and larger than life. Cultural sensitivity and criticism, modern audience critiques some stereotypes and cultural portrayals reflects the era's less sensitive approach. The exaggerated tribal stereotypes and animal caricatures are now considered problematic but we're seen as acceptable in the context of 1990s comedy. If we talk about James Carrey's impact, the film solidified Carrey's reputation as a comedy powerhouse that improvises worthiness. It showcases his ability to inhabit journey character and improvised comedy gold, influencing countless comedians and actors. Toward box office and popularity metric. If we talk about gross revenue over 212 million worldwide, budget approximately 23 million. Received and mixed reviews from critics but overwhelming positive audience reception. The success impact the film's plots, scenes, and characters have become iconic, inspiring memes, parodies, and reference across media, and Peter got behind the scene and fascinating trivia. Jim Carrey's improvisation, many scenes especially involving facial expression and physical acts were improvised on set, showcasing his comedic genius film location primarily shot in South Africa with some scene involving digital effect or clever editing. If we talk about costume and makeup, Ace is flamboyant. If we talk about memorable scene and iconic quotes, alright, Jim Carrey's is often spotted and Freddy Dino costume scene is discusses himself as a rhinoceros leading to chaos and humor. Elephant ride is riding disguising himself as a rhinoceros leading to chaos and humor. Elephant ride is riding on elephant through the jungle, greeting a spectre of chaos. The jungle sees and fire. A frenetic animals will chase, culminating in the recovery of the mask. Comedic confrontation. Bit of a tribal dance scene. Over the top ritual that is in the country disrupts, adding to the absurdity. Our legacy and enduring cultural significance. Ventura when nature calls remains a defining example of 1990s slapstick comedy its influence is seen in countless parodies, memes, and comedic references. Jim Carrey's portrayal of X has become one of his most iconic roles, influencing future comedians and actors. The film cinema, though often criticized today, embodies the era's love for exaggerated dramatic and boundary-pushing comedy. Its plots and scenes continue to be celebrated, quoted, and reinterpreted by fans worldwide. If we talk about final reflection and unapologetic comedic extravaganza, if we talk about Ace Ventura, when nature calls is wild, unpredictable, and hilarious. Cinematic experience, it, for example, highlights the art of chaos, physical comedy, and improvisation. While it may not be a film for every taste, even its exaggerated stereotypes and crude humor, it remains an important cultural artifact that captures the spirit of 1990s comedy. Whether viewed as a pure slapstick romp or a nostalgic trip back to a more outrageous era, it offers endless laughs, memorable moments, and an enduring legacy. One of Jim Carrey's most beloved films, if we talk about more. And if we talk about age Ventura miniature calls 1995 the most complete in depth and extended analysis, impacts, compilation, introduction to a concept phenomenon of the and 1990s comedy landscape. Ace Ventura, The Nature Calls is not just a sequel, it's an embodiment of 1990s slapstick, physical comedy, and Jimmy Carrey and Carrey. Improvisational talent released on November 10, 1995 by Warner Bros. The film capitalized on the enormous success of original essence of Pet Detective 1994, which had made Carrey a household name. The film renowned for its shouty humor, bizarre animal antics, and over-the-top characters has cemented itself as a cult classic influencing comedy, pop culture, and meme culture for decades. Despite mixed critical reviews, it was a massive commercial success, grossing over 212 million worldwide against a modest budget and immensely loved by fans for its unrestrained absurdity. The film's irrelevant humor and layered characters and imagination sequence reflect the decades for outrageous comedy that pushes boundaries. It's a wild ride into the jungle of comedy, filled with laughter, charm, and homegrown quotes. And if you talk about extensive plot breakdown and narrative insights, let's talk about overall pieces that is the film opens with a humorous narration that sets a playful tone introducing its Ventura as wild, eccentric recluse after his first adventure. His house is the chaotic menagerie of animals, bizarre artifacts, and eccentric accurate and immediate visual cues that this is a universe where sound reigns supreme. Jim Carrey's performance is already in full swing with exaggerated facial expression, wild hair, and athletic physicality. This opening scene establishes that Ace is a free spirit unbound by social norms and Ventura hard pass into the inciting incident, the second mark theft. The central plot is kicked off when the secret grids the manual mask from the Vatsaki tribe, symbolizing peace and unity is stolen that theft threatens to ignite a tribal war which could have catastrophic consequences. The theft is played for comedy with exaggerated villains and slapstick scenes reflecting the film's comedic tone, the mission, and the call to adventure. King Solomon, the wise and humorous tribal leader, enlisted Ace Ventura to recover the historian mark. Ace, initially elegant, is driven by his love of chaos, adventure, and a sense to its cause mayhem. His quirky personality and unpredictable methods make him the perfect, or perhaps the worst candidate for the job to go into the jungle. The wild expedition begins. The journey into the African jungle is a vicious spectacle. It's a vibrant, exaggerated universe filled with color, humor, and chaos. The film employs a mixture of practical effects, animatronics, and digital enhancement to create a wacky environment teeming with animals, tribespeople, and absurd scenarios. If we talk about encounters, hilarious antics in the jungle throughout the adventure, Ace encounters countless humorous physician, elephant rides, and animal interaction. Aces ride elephants, communicates with parrots, and outruns crocodiles, and slapstick gags and improvisation. Chicago disguise and deception. Ace disguises himself as a giant rhinoceros, leading to chaos as animals and human mistake him for a real beast. If we talk about cultural parodies, the tribals Types, ritual dance, and customs are exaggerated for comic effect, often disrupting or parodying stereotypes with absurd humor. We talk about the climax and final confrontation. The climax involves a frantic chase in the jungle with Ace battling the villains. Whatever cultivated the types, ritual dances and customs are exaggerated for comic effect, often disrupting or parodying stereotypes with absurd humor. And animals mishap, chimpanzees stealing objects, crocodiles napping unpredictably, and monkeys causing chills and requiring comedic motives. If we talk about the climax and final confrontation, the climax involves a frantic chase in the jungles with Ace battling the villains. The scene is filled with visual gags, animal sounds, and slapstick combat. Ace cleverly outfought the villain through improvisation, often using animals or bizarre disguise, and, and Ace recovers the mask, preventing a war and restoring. And if you talk about the end, Ace recovers the mask, preventing a war, the restoring peace between the tribes. The film concludes with Ace returning to his scheduled life, not before delivering more of his signature catchphrases and antics. If we talk about themes and artistic approach, embracing chaos and absurdity. Uh, the core of the film is its embrace of chaos. Every scene is designed to be larger than life, unpredictable, and filled with visual gags, slapstick, and improvisation. This approach reflects the 1990 love for boundary pushing comedy, parody, and satire of adventure strokes. The film satirizes adventures, tribal stereotypes, and wildlife documentaries. It exaggerates these elements. And if we talk about character and performance and artistic expression, Jim uh, Jim Carrey's portrayal of Ace Ventura is to the force. His physical comedy, facial expression, and improvisation make every scene unpredictable. His performance is characterized by wild energy, comic timing, and inventive characterization. The hero award visual and sound design, bright exaggerated costumes, vibrant jungle sets, and lively musical cues contributed to the playful atmosphere. Sound effects, animal noises, flowing, and exaggerated cues are timed perfectly to maximize comedic impact. And if we talk about deep dive into character, Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey, personality, eccentric, flamboyant, childlike, and unpredictable. His love for animals and savages is central to his character. And if we talk about humor style, physically, comedy, facial expression, improvisation, and absurdity, dialogue development, largely static but moments of vulnerability such as desire for acceptance and death. Iconic traits, outlandish costumes, wild hair, exaggerated facial expressions, and over-the-top gesture. And so it was the review of this movie. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.